triple threat here with my first video. I don't know how this is going to take off, but the first video that I had in mind was based on a conversation me and my partner here had about, you know, everything being about the 3-round bomb, and nobody's taking the time to teach the small game how it should probably be taught. I mean, getting people on base is still important. That O in the OPS that everybody celebrates, it's still on base percentage. So you need people getting on base, man, so you can hit that 3-round bomb. Now, what we're going to talk about today, to lead into our future videos, we're going to start from the bottom. And the first thing that you should, every baseball player, when you're coming up, you should know how to bunt. I mean, if you don't know how to bunt, I mean, let me tell you something. I heard Barry Bonds himself, one of the greatest hitters of all time, say whenever he fell in the slump, he would just drop down a drag bunt just to get his eyesight back on letting the ball travel and hitting the bat. You understand what I'm saying? Contact is still king no matter what they tell you. I know everything's about the launch angle and hitting the big bomb a lot, but hey, everybody in the lineup's not Chris Bryant. Everybody in the lineup's not Bryce Harper. You know, you still need some guys like Elvis Andrews to get on base and set the tone. You know what I'm saying? So that's the type of hitters that me and this cat was, both switch hitters, had pop on both sides of the plate, but we took pride in doing everything in the game of baseball that makes you elite. So the first thing that you do when you come in and you're going through hitting, most teams that you play on, college, high school, whatever, you know, most of the hitting rounds start with the bunt round. So the first thing that we're going to teach is the sacrifice bunt. Sacrifice bunt basically is that in itself. You're sacrificing, you're giving yourself up so the base runner can move over, right? So you're not really hiding that you're bunting. You're letting the world know that you're bunting, and you're going to place it third base side, first base side, wherever it's needed. So we're going to work both sides first. First one we're going to do is third base side. So the first thing you want to do, so you're in your stance, you go ahead and square. Now when you square, I got my finger pretty much around where the Louisville Slugger label is. And my right hand is about where my left hand would normally be. But you got to get it to where you got enough bat control. All right. Now your bat angle always has to stay here, right? When that ball comes, you're not moving the bat angle anywhere, right? It's going to stay here in this little. We're going to go down the first base line first. Oh, did I say third base line? Go down third base line. Let's go down third base line first. So I'm going to keep my angle here because I got to get it down third base line. And this is me on the left side. I'm going to do on both sides, all right? So on the left side, ball comes, I'm only going to drop here with my legs. I'm not moving the bat at all. So check me out. We're going down the third base line. Can't really see it out here. We just had to get us some space and opportunity, you know what I mean? Instead of making excuses. So here we go. There we go. So as you see, all those balls were low. All I did was just drop my leg. You know, the bat shouldn't be moving very much because you're just trying to get it down. It doesn't have to be too fine. Don't be trying to be too perfect because again, you only really got a strike to do this. You know, basically the sacrifice is almost off when you got 2 strikes, unless my coach from my freshman year who says you better effing get it done. No matter if you got 2 strikes or not, you better get the job done. And that's kind of what taught me how important the small game is. So again, let's go down the third base line. That's all I'm doing, just moving my legs. Bang. Doesn't have to be too perfect, just has to get there in between the pitcher and the foul line, okay? So now, I'm going to turn my bat head angle this way. So now, to get it down the first base line, it's just going to stay here. And I'm going to take this left foot and step it towards home plate, almost behind it, just to catch it. All I'm trying to do is catch it and get it down the first base line. That's my technique. I don't know what everybody else teaches, but that's what I do. Just like that. Just like that. You notice my bat angle is not moving very much. Just like this. Just like that, all right? Now, I'm gonna go to the drag bunts, okay? Drag bunt down the third base line. Now, this is you actually trying to bunt for a hit. So there can be a little movement and you can show it late because you're actually in a situation where you're just trying to get on base with this bunt. So now, pitch comes, I may have a little movement You know, like mine is 2 steps. Of course, I got them just front tossing to me. You know, if the pitcher, I'll have a little time as he's getting his wind up to kind of show it late, take my step, and drop it down the third base line. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do it like football at the top of the route. I'm gonna go ahead and go into my step and then you do it.
Okay.
All right. So when I'm in, if I'm throwing the bunt, pitcher goes in his wind up, I take a step like this, and down the third base line, and I'm out of here. We're trying to get on base quick. For the first base line, I kind of take this leg and just, with this foot being stationary, I just take this foot and take the bat with me down the line. May have to edit that, we'll see. Might be funny. Everybody might laugh. Just taking the bat with me down the line. Take it back. Now that's the perfect one. That's called a push bunt. That'll be the push bunt for the lefties, right past the pitcher, towards second base. That's where you really want it. One more on the push. There it is. That's what you want right here. So we're gonna do the same stuff on the right side. So everything just flips around on the right side. So now, that same technique I use to go down the first base line on the left side, I'm gonna do the same thing on the right side. So just step in here with that foot behind the plate. Over here, here we go. Don't want to be too fine. Just like that. I'm almost stepping that foot almost behind the plate a little bit. Just catch it. Just like that. All right, same thing. First base line, I'm just taking my bat angle back this way. Get it down. Dropping my knees with it. Just like that. All right. All right. So now the drag down the third base line is gonna look a little different on the right side. Now we're here with it. Like this. So basically on the right side, the technique goes like this. Step this foot back, here. This is the advantage of being a switch hitter, you know. You gotta master techniques on both sides. And I always took the Chipper Jones approach where I was almost a different person on both sides. You notice with Chipper Jones, those who are fans of that old, you know, Chipper Jones was like, he had 2 different stances on both sides. I used to mimic those. But I had 2 different techniques on both sides as well. So hold on, what we doing? Oh yeah, drag. Drag. Yep. Yeah, that's the first one, right down the line.
Someone call that a hit.
Yeah. I mean, I can run like I used to, but I can still get out there if I need to. All right, so let's go ahead and get those. Now, the push bunt. Push bunt on the right side. Basically, you want your chest going towards second base. And this is the technique I would use. I would step back here, bring this foot back, and step forward with a push. Now, on the push bunt on the right-hander, if you're bunting for a hit and you're trying to push it at second base, maybe you got just a runner on second base and that's the way you're trying to get him over with a push bunt. You will push it towards second base. It's the only time your bat will move, but that angle stays the same. So you're still gonna drop here, drop there, but you're just gonna push out to make contact. Okay. Here we go. Pushing it that way, going towards first base. We go this way? Right there, I gotta let that go. That might have been a little hard, but it will get the runner over to second base. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, shoulder spot. I mean, not put shoulders on everything.